Okay, so this one, actually, nothing wrong with it. It's brand spanking new. But it just kind of struck me as a cool little device. I kind of wanted to see how it worked. So this is an automatic tool oiler for air tools. So the air comes out here, right? Air goes in there. So compressed air comes in, comes out, and you hook your tool, like this guy, right? Compressed air goes in, and you fill this little cup with oil, and it automatically puts a mist of oil through your tools. I've got a pneumatic paint shaker, runs off of air, and you just let it run for 15, 10 minutes at a time. So I figured it would be good to have an automatic oiler. These are real cheap. Only thing that I am immediately seeing that's going to be a big annoyance is this O-ring pops out constantly, and it's really annoying. So yeah, I just wanted to have this apart real quick and see exactly how it works. So what I think is going on here is, all right, so this is a needle valve called such because it looks like a needle. So what that's going to do is that's going to set in this little tube here, which is picking up the oil. Well, I'm not sure. This is either pressurizing the oil or picking up the oil. It's yet to be seen. Again, why I kind of wanted to have this apart. I think that this top thing is just basically a sight glass, so you can see whether or not it's working. So I guess the theory is you'll see oil bubbling up when it's working, maybe, possibly. And then this is a screw. Screw with an O-ring. Okay. And in here we've got two little so that's a check valve. Cute. Yeah, so there's a little spring in there, little ball bearing. That's going to be a check valve. I don't know how this thing works. I'm taking it apart and I'm looking at it, and I'm hoping that when we get to the end here, something's going to be apparent. All right, so we've just got another little O-ring there, which is where that little needle valve is probably going to sit. Try and get that out. Oh, and we got a little ball bearing. Okay, so just need something small to push with. Okay, so I don't want to pop it out of there, but that's a little piece of rubber. So what I think is happening here is air's coming in, right? There is a little check valve right here, right, that sits in this port. And the check valve operates only letting air in, so nothing can come back out this way. So if you don't mind, I'm going to reassemble this as I go, just to make my life easier down the line here. It's also interesting that that little ball sits in a square hole. You wouldn't think that would seal very well, but I guess it does. Okay, and I don't know if I pointed it out, but there is a hole in this bolt. So air comes into the cup, right? And obviously a lot of that air just bypasses. Air comes into the cup, pressurizes the oil in the cup, all right? And then the oil goes up through this tube and is regulated by this needle valve, which sticks up here. Kind of hard to see, but sticks up there and sits on this little ball. So this little ball gets pushed in and out by that needle valve. So, and of course, it's under, it's down, so gravity's going to be holding the ball out of the little port there. That strikes me as not having very much adjustment. So, like this little screw, it's not going to take much at all to adjust it. Because, I mean, it's hard to see in there, but this screw is, or the tip of that needle valve is just sticking up a pip out into that little rectangular bore there. Right? And I guess the reason they would do rectangular bores as opposed to round, I mean, obviously that's an additional cost. I mean, it will never completely seal, I guess, might be the theory. Although this one has that little O-ring, so maybe it would seal against that O-ring if you completely shut it off. But anyway, yeah, so all that to say, there we go. All that to say, oil gets pushed up this tube, right? So this little cavity is pressurized, oil gets pushed up the tube. And, well, then where does it go from there? That's a question. It must come out of this port right here. Oh, this is a fill plug. Yeah, that's all that is. So you can see here, this just is right back up there, in there. I think you can see that. Yeah, this guy. So that's just a fill plug is all that is. Or I suppose you could put a pressure gauge on there if you wanted to. And then that comes up and, I see. So it lets you see what's going on with the little viewing window. So you'll be able to see oil spewing up in there. So at least you get some indication of what's going on. Dual O-rings on that needle valve there. Yeah, I can see it's way down in the bottom of the bore. Probably can't see it, but there is a little hole, which I'm imagining is that guy right there. Up into this little viewing port. Gonna have to do the old turn backwards until the threads interlock and then snug it up. And then that is dropping out into this hole back here, I bet. And this little device in here acts as a little venturi. So it creates a tiny little vacuum just behind it where this hole is. So that will be in vacuum pressure or relatively low pressure. And it will suck the oil out into the tool. So, hey, you know what? The marvels of modern technology. I think this thing costs like all of maybe 15 bucks shipped to my door. Pretty incredible, really. It's a neat little mechanical device. So anyway, looking forward to putting it in service. We'll see how she works. But anyway, thanks for watching.